Okay, Packer week is coming to an end because it's almost Sunday. Vikings Packers at the bank. Um, we all know how big of a game this is. It's definitely a bigger game, I think, for the Vikings than the Packers. Um, I think, realistically, I think the NFC North race is probably over, regardless of what happens in the game tomorrow. It seems unlikely that the Packers are going to kind of fall off and lose enough games where we can catch them. And I don't think we're going to run the table or anything like that. So, it seems unlikely that we're going to catch them anyway. So, um, but it's bigger for us as far as playoffs go. Um, Much quieter week this week. Last week was that's like we had all the COVID stuff and we had the Dalvin stuff and all this stressful, unhappy stuff going on. Not much really in terms of Vikings news this week. A couple guys came off the COVID list. Willickeys, I think, should play. Um, and we're getting some other guys back. Barr should play. Patrick Peterson sounds very certain that he's going to play. Harrison Smith's stupid ass is coming back, so he should play. I hope that doesn't mean they sit Cam Bynum because Bynum's looked pretty good the last couple games, um, but obviously, it helps to have as many guys back as possible. Packers are kind of beat up. They've lost. I forget who was off their defense. One of their starters. Their starting running back is going to be out, and Aaron Rodgers hasn't been practicing because he's got a toe injury. I don't believe for 1 second that he's not going to play. So that's like a non-story to me. He's going to play, and we just got to beat him, and we've beaten him. For all the shit Zimmer gets, he's got a pretty good record when facing Aaron Rodgers. So, certainly better than most teams, or most coaches. But I honestly I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do in this game tomorrow. I really could see it going either way. Gut kind of tells me that we're not going to win, just because we haven't really put together two straight really good, impressive performances yet. We've had a couple, maybe a couple in a row that were okay, but we haven't really put it together for consecutive games yet. Maybe this is when we start doing that. Maybe that win last week is kind of the kickstart for us going on a run here. Certainly would be a good time for it because that NFC playoff race is looking a tad more challenging than it did even just a week ago. But yeah, I think I certainly think they have a shot. If they play smart and aggressive on offense, then they can put up a lot of points. And Green Bay's defense has been really good lately. They shut out Seattle. Whether Russell Wilson was actually ready to actually be playing, that might be up for some debate. But what else? When they held Patrick Mahomes down. So yeah, this might be the best defense we faced all season. Oops. And they're playing well. So, I don't, this is probably the biggest challenge we've had, maybe the whole season. And obviously we've had some rough offensive games against, I think, weaker teams than this. So, again, I feel like there's no, it's cliche, but no one can stop the Vikings better than the Vikings can stop the Vikings. I feel like if they just, don't go into a shell, as they so often, do on offense, like they can score. They're probably not going to score in the 30s in this game, but if they can get into the 20s, and that might be all you need if you have a good defensive game yourself. And they've had some good defensive games against Aaron Rodgers last year. They won in Lambeau last year with a beat at least comparable Packer team, and we had a worse team, and certainly a worse defense, and we went into Lambeau and won. So it's not impossible. I feel more confident if the Packer defense wasn't playing as good as they've been of late. Um, but we'll see. Like, that's the mystery. Like, we've seen Vikings offense, kind of be what they should be in spurts. Last week we kind of saw it for most of an entire game. We haven't seen it for consecutive games, really. We haven't seen it for consecutive games for 4 quarters, and you're not gonna be able to, they're not gonna be able to kind of half-ass it and win this game. But it's a big one because while I think the division's out, I still think wild card, really either of the 2 wild cards at this point, are very much in play. Kind of everybody in the NFC lost last week, and I don't even consider teams like Tampa Bay and the Rams. I don't even consider teams like that like within our reach, even though they're technically only a couple games ahead of us in I think both those cases. But like, I don't even consider them within our reach because it just doesn't seem likely. You got to worry about the teams that are right with you and behind you. And Vikings coming into the week, they're a half game out behind the Panthers. Panthers have a pretty winnable game this week. They're playing Washington. We'll see what Cam Newton being back really does for them over the long term. But I think that they're a little more of a threat than they were even a week or 2 ago. And the Saints are 1 game up on us. So those are the 2 teams. The Saints have to go with Trevor Siemian the rest of the year. So it's like, it doesn't seem likely that they're going to run the table, but they did play really good against Tennessee, so you never know. And then, Philadelphia's playing a little better. Atlanta's been getting killed now, so, but they might turn it around. Like, it's kind of the way this season is going. Like, as soon as you want to write a team off, then they turn around. As soon as you want to crown them, then they fall apart. And obviously this is like the last, everyone talked about the 4 games out of the bye. This is the last one. I thought if we split them, we were really good for the playoffs. I still think that. They lose this week. They're 4-6. Much easier schedule after that. But I mean, the 49ers played really well last week. They beat the Rams pretty handily. The Bears are falling apart, but Soldier Field curse. It's the way it is. And you can't even be too overconfident about that Detroit game that we got in a couple weeks because it's on the road and Detroit's been pesky. Like they obviously they tied Pittsburgh and they almost beat us already, and they almost beat Baltimore. Like that, you can't take any of them for granted. And you got Pittsburgh, and who knows what their situation is going to be by then, but I think they can win a lot of these remaining games after this week, and I think they could win this week. But I mean, it might not be as simple as like, okay, as long as we like get to 9 wins, we're in. Well, maybe we might need 10. I don't know. I think we can get to 10, but be a huge, huge help if they could get this win this week, because obviously you play the Packers again, but that's going to be in the dead of winter in Lambeau. That's going to be tough. Green Bay's going to be playing for home field and everything. Like, it's going to be tough. So it really would really help you if you could win this one. And I certainly think they can officially. I'm not picking them to win. I think this is going to be like a slightly lower scoring game than I'm usually picking everything to be like 34-31. I've come close a couple times, but I think this is going to be similar in score to last week, something like 27-24. I think we are going to be able to put up some points on them. As good as their defense is playing, I think we're going to be able to score. It's just a question of, are we able to contain Rodgers, who is going to play? No doubt in my mind. Can we get after him Zimmer was a little more aggressive on defense last week too. It wasn't just the offense going forward. Zimmer was taking a little more chances on defense, and sometimes it paid off. But we've been seeing it for how many years now? 2008 till now. That's 14 seasons. We've been seeing Aaron Rodgers play us for 14 seasons, and he's burned us a lot of times. And you know, he's burned better Viking teams than this. And you know, who knows? Like, I don't expect us to to really shut him down. It's just a matter, can you be productive enough on offense to outscore him and hold him down a little bit, and then pull off an upset. We're not big underdogs. I think it's only like a 3-point spread, but this would be a I hate the term statement win, but it would kind of be a statement win. Like if we could win 2 in a row, playing really well against winning teams, beat your division rival, who most people are thinking is going to go to the Super Bowl. Including me, I picked him to go to the Super Bowl, but you know, I think they got a shot. They certainly have a shot. Like when they won in Lambeau last year, I went to that game thinking they had absolutely zero shot. This one they absolutely have a shot. I would give them a 45% shot. Like it's not like I favor the Packers in this game slightly, but not by a lot. And I think the Vikings can win it. And I hope that they do and make me look like a fool for picking against them.